Hi, I'm OKJ, and in 3 months I'll be taking my Chinese O-level exams for the very first time. Today's chapter is all about my attempt of the Sec 2 final year exam paper. And rather than some of my past chapters where you would see me suffer during the exam and then I show you the marks after, I thought why not this time, let me just share with you my marks straight up, because I want to spend the rest of the time sharing some of the analysis I have about my performance, which I've kind of summed up with this kind of arts and craft boards over here. After 90 grueling minutes and out of a possible 70 marks, I got 42. Now obviously, that's not amazing, not incredible, but it is an improvement. Certainly better than the 38 marks that I got in Sec 1. And even though there's just a marginal difference, I feel like I can sense a lot more differences, I think, in terms of the experience. And so today I want to share with you what those differences are in 3 key factors that I've written over here. The first one is time management. And time management was super critical to me because I was surprisingly bad at time management for Sec 1. I didn't even complete the paper, if you remember. I got 10 minutes left, I'm not sure that I can complete the paper. And I knew that for me to have a fighting chance for the rest of the exams, I had to ensure that time management was done well. And so what I've done is that I started from the back, because the last section is always the written comprehension section, my worst section of all. Wow, luckily I'm doing this first. If this is doing last, I think crumble already. By starting from the back, it would give me the best position to succeed, right? I'm fresh of mind and I still do not have that much pressure from the time because the paper just started. And I think that worked wonders for me because I scored 15 out of 30 in that section. It's just pass, but it's also the highest I think I've ever scored throughout my entire life. Yes, I did take longer than I expected. So I just finished question 28, which is the first half of the last section, but I wanted to allocate half an hour and I've already used half an hour just on these 4. So once this hits 50 minutes, I'm going to the rest of the paper already. Now, obviously, just 45 minutes left to complete the rest of the paper, 5 more sections to go. But I'm able to do better in those 45 minutes for those other sections because most of them are MCQ, which leads to this second point, which is focused mental reading. Unlike some of the other chapters where I will also talk to the camera and explain what is my thought process and all that, from Sec 2 onwards, no, there's no time for this. Let me just focus all my capacity on the paper itself. If you have any questions, you can ask me also.
Never mind. Concentrate on your paper, okay?
Thank you. And I think that full attention allowed me to comprehend all of the questions and the stories better. And especially for MCQ, right, I'm able to comprehend the answers and choose the right one more confidently and quicker as well. But one of the other reasons why I'm able to do that for most of the MCQ questions is because of this, being familiar with the exam content. Unlike people that's half my age, actually in Sec 2, Sec 3, Sec 4, I'm someone who's 30 years old. I've lived a longer life. I've seen more things. And so, things that are presented in the exam or even in the textbook, they're not novel to me. The only thing that's new to me is that they are written in Chinese. But I'm able to understand and, grasp the context quite quickly. And the combination of these two allow me to blitz through some of the MCQ questions. One thing I'm scared is that I'm doing this very fast, but I'm scared later got help. With all said and done, I was able to complete the paper with 5 minutes to spare. Okay, I think, do I really need to check? What am I going to check with this? I got about 5 minutes left, but I guess, so yeah, it's like if you know already, right? So time management, I think I really improved on this one, but there are some other factors that I really need to touch on that I need to improve, because the next factor is this, character memory. Now, character memory, I kind of feel like there are 2 types. There is character recognition and character recall. Start with character recognition first. Effectively, it is one's ability to look at a character and then you'll be able to recognize it, know its meaning and its pronunciation. I kind of now, with all my activities, know how to read a story, and even if I don't know some of the characters, I can make sense of it in the context of the whole. Now this becomes a double-edged sword because, for instance, like section 3, which is the 造句 forming sentences component, there was a particular question, question 12. What is this? Skip. 谨慎 is something that when you use it in a complete sentence, I know how to use it. 谨慎. I saw 谨慎处理, I knew already. Like, so if you put 谨慎处理, if you put 处理 beside it, I knew how to read it.
Because you know read 处理, right?
Then I know what is 谨慎 because like in context, that's wasted. And so that really just shows how character recognition is good. It's what we kind of like default to. But if you simply rely on it, it won't get you to, I think, the upper level. That's where this comes in, which is character recall. And character recall is effectively memory, the mental dictionary that you have. And while other people have a library, I have scraps of paper, and some of the paper even have smudge thing. It's that bad. And I know that for a fact because, let's say, for section 6, which is that written comprehension once again, I knew what the story was. I know what the questions are asking. I know how to reply and answer them and probably score full marks if I can speak it. But I can't write it. I don't know how to write what I said. So the good thing is part of 26, I can kind of know that, like I know the answer already. I just don't know how to write it. So I'm still using that method of finding the answers in the paper that's slowing me down. Also, the recall I have of words that I can say but I can't write is still it's hindering me a lot. So that's why I have to write like long. I don't have to write this long one, to be honest. What's even worse is that now with Sec 2 onwards, there are more questions that ask you for your opinion, to argue a point. And you can't use the exam as a dictionary. So for instance, there are 2 questions, 8 marks in total in section 6. And I only scored 1. So character recall, definitely something that I have to work on if I want to put a good showing in Sec 3 and even the O-levels. Last but not least, factor 3. Now this factor is, to be honest, a little bit surprising for me because it is mental state. Why this one's a lot more nervous than the other one? I don't want to start the timer. Sec 2 was a very nerve-wracking experience, this particular paper. It reminded me how I felt when I was in secondary school before every year-end paper. I was hesitant enough to even press the start button before we started just to let you know how nervous I was. And I think it affected me from doing my best. Ready? And... Wait. Luckily for me, this isn't my first rodeo. It's not the first time I've been very nervous in an exam. So I have some things that I do that I would like to share with you. The first one is a quick meditation routine in which we would clasp our hands together, opposite with each other. Take a deep breath in. Hold it in and feel like you're pulling out all of your stress while counting to 10 and release. Other things that I think might have helped me was the fact that for Sec 2, I also gave myself a lot of self-assurance. Oh, hing. Nature is here, cheering me on. And if those are not enough, there's always physical stimuli. And so I just just wake up my idea. Stop worrying because there's no point to it. Focus on the task at hand, get it done. Do your best and let the results speak for itself. So, where do I go from here? Well, at this particular point in time, I scored 42 out of 70. It's not great once again, but it's not bad either. That means from this, I think I've improved. But I need to work on some of the weaknesses that I've now learned from the Sec 2 paper. To be honest, this particular quote right here, why I'm sharing it is because this was sent to me by one of my friends in my Telegram community because I was nervous enough to ask them for help. And this friend who just completed O-levels in 2022 shared with me that mindfulness is key and also gave me some encouragement with this following saying, which is 世上无难人，只怕世上无难事，只怕有心人. And this is rather apt because one of the things that I'm most worried about right now is that it's only going to get harder from here. I can see from the Sec 2 syllabus that they are now focusing a lot more on colourful vocabulary and technical terms that we use in the local context or in globally relevant affairs. And so I can't imagine how difficult Sec 3 will be. But at the very least, I know what I need to work on now. So after this recording is done, I'm gonna go back to study more. Thank you for watching today's chapter, and I'll see you next time. Bye!